Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
We had to keep sanitizer away from our guests. Why? Because she drinks it to get drunk.
You had a lot of alcohol.
Yeah, I had a whole bottle last night, I know.
You were ready to attack me. Dr. Phil, she had weapons in her back.
Your fear is you're going to lose your daughter.
I'm trying to save her life. I'm trying everything, and that's why I'm coming to you.
This is the equivalent of 5 shots. This is a very ugly death. Do you want to die? Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. Well, safety is my top priority for myself, Robin, my staff, and my guests during this coronavirus pandemic. We are taking every precaution by practicing social distancing, wearing masks, and having hand sanitizer available all over my studio. But today, we had to keep sanitizer away from our guest, Giovanna. Why? Well, because she drinks it to get drunk. She has been arrested, kicked out of rehabs, driven drunk with her children in the car, and, well, the list just goes on and on. Now, Tracy is fearful for her daughter's life and believes the hand sanitizer Giovanna is drinking is messing with her brain. It is so bad that Tracy has resorted to locking up her bottles of hand sanitizer in a safe. Take a look.
My daughter Giovanna has been battling alcohol for the past 5 years. She has now hit rock bottom. My daughter is a full-blown drunk. Giovanna wakes up around 7 a.m. She grabs a bottle of vodka, downs it until she passes out again. When I go in her room, I start looking around and there's empty bottles of vodka. My daughter drinks about 4 to 5 of these a day with vodka. I always ask Giovanna where she gets the money from. Where are you getting money?
Don't worry about it.
What do you mean, don't worry about it? Where are you getting money?
About it.
Are you stealing it? She looks at me and tells me it's none of my business. My daughter moved in with me during the time of the COVID pandemic. I stocked up on hand sanitizer. I went into her room and found empty hand sanitizer bottles in the couch. It wasn't until I needed to take her to the emergency room that she confessed she had been drinking the hand sanitizer.
When I'm desperate, I will do it.
Do what?
Make alcohol with sanitizer.
I was in shock. When I found out my daughter was drinking hand sanitizer, I locked them in my safe in my room. I believe that Dr. Phil is my last hope.
You know, unlike a lot of alcoholics and addicts, Giovanna's not in denial about this. She admits she has a big alcohol problem and drinks all day, every day, because she says it's the only way she feels normal. Now, during our interview, she appeared to be restless and sweaty.
Oh, gosh.
How are you feeling?
I'm not sure.
When's the last time you had a drink?
An hour ago. I'm drunk. I'm buzzed, I guess you can say. After the interview, I'm going back to the hotel and I'm going to drink.
So what does she drink? Her drink of choice is vodka. But when she can't find that, she resorts to anything she can find, which lately has been hand sanitizer. At times, she has even used hairspray.
I started to drink at the age of 9, but it got worse about 5 years ago. My drink of choice is vodka. I usually drink it out of the bottle.
Are you serious?
I don't trust people, and I don't trust myself. That's why I drink alone. I'm miserable, confused, angry.
You're going to die probably behind the wheel because you keep drinking.
Says you, when you're the one that drinks.
I drink because I like the feeling. I love the taste. It makes me numb. I'll do anything to get it. Or if I don't get it, I will figure out how to make it. I will mix hand sanitizer with water or any other liquid. I'll take the hand sanitizer and I'll put at least 4 or 5 drops inside a half-size cup with less than half of water in it. I'll mix it with whatever. I'll even mix it with my finger if I have to. I'll sip it until I get buzzed. I have been doing that about 4 months. It doesn't taste good. It is nasty. That's the bottom of the barrel. I went to the hospital because of my hand sanitizer addiction. They said that can cause blindness and death. I continue drinking hand sanitizer because I'm desperate. The last time was a week ago. I've been to rehab 3 times. I was discharged because they had left hairspray that had alcohol. So I mixed my hairspray with my lemon water. I did get buzzed. I'm good at manipulating people to get money for alcohol. I can go up to a stranger and ask for spare change. I just need $5. I just want enough to get me a little bottle, that's it. I feel ashamed. The worst thing I've done to get money, I prefer not to answer that. I'm at the end of my rope.
Okay, your fear is you're going to lose your daughter.
Absolutely. Dr. Phil, I have tried everything with this girl. Rehabs. She tried to make alcohol out of hairspray. I've never even fathomed that.
Right.
And she got kicked out. They didn't even want her there. I'm at the end of my rope. And you know, Dr. Phil, I know you're a parent and I'm a parent, and I'm pleading with you. If you can't help her, then tell me who can, because I don't know anybody that can help her.
I do need help.
She is, when I look at my daughter, she's a walking corpse. She is close to death. She has mixed pills, alcohol, hand sanitizer. She even drank a whole bottle of my NyQuil.
How much have you had today?
I haven't had any today.
When was the last time you had any intoxicant at all?
Last night. What,
Yes.
Mother? What?
You had a lot of alcohol last night.
Yeah, I had a whole bottle last night.
You were in rage. You were ready to
well,
attack
actually, I had
me.
a bottle and a half.
Okay.
Dr. Phil, she had weapons in her back.
I didn't have weapons. I just grabbed
Scissors, 2 pairs of scissors.
It was just his tweezers, his scissors.
No,
yes,
exactly.
Mother. Yes.
And the
2 pairs of
tweezers
scissors.
look like
I don't
a
trust.
knife. You were going to jump out of the car on our way over here. Why?
Because
It's
I wanted
you
to get
wanted a bottle.
I wanted to get
and
it.
lying and saying you wanted medicine.
Okay. Are you in withdrawal at all now?
Probably.
And when will that start? When will that really get bad?
I don't believe I have really bad withdrawals other than just maybe the shaking. Until I'm not sure. No.
Well, and listen, tell me the absolute truth, because I want to protect you, protect your life. I mean, I don't, if you can get to the point of alcohol toxicity where if you don't have alcohol or medication, you can go into seizure, and I don't want that to happen to you. I just want to know what I'm dealing with. And look, let me tell you what I do when I approach these situations. I try to assess first any danger or risk, then I try to assess assets, I try to assess insights, how much people understand, and the family appears to me to be highly dysfunctional, and your behavior since you've gotten here is really destructive in terms of getting in my way of being able to do what needs to be done. And we're going to talk about that. Coming up, jumping out of a moving car, running after someone with scissors, bailing during the middle of taping, getting drunk. This is just some of the drama that's happened since Giovanna has been in LA, and we're not just talking about Giovanna. We'll talk about that and Tracy's part in all of this as well. We'll come back.
My mom has called the police on me because I have a mouth and I don't shut up.
Let's go.
My mother suggested that I be on an ankle monitor for my alcohol problem.
My daughter must have had 10 ankle monitors, and she's cut them all off. I enable my daughter. I have bought her wine because she was shaking. There's times I'll give her gas money, but I'll meet her at the gas station, ask for receipts, and I never see the receipts. There are times my husband has kicked her out. My daughter has been sleeping in her car. When I hear this, it breaks my heart. Instead of letting her hit rock bottom, I bring her back home when my husband is at work. I think putting a roof over my daughter's head does enable my daughter. Why change when mom keeps rescuing her?
Take a listen to this tape that Mom sent us. It seems cutting off the ankle bracelet was her idea, at least on this day.
This is my daughter, Giovanna. I am witnessing her cut this off. It is cutting into her skin, and it looks very serious. I'm the one who told her to cut it off. Yeah, it's just too tight, Giovanna. Oh my gosh. I'm not sure who put this on her super tight, but it just wasn't wise.
Okay, now the ankle bracelet is for what purpose? It monitors what?
My alcohol levels. I've had, I don't know, I think probably 200 violations already.
Okay, now you helped her cut the ankle bracelet off. You said in the tape you helped her cut it off because it was too tight and cutting off the circulation, right?
Yes.
You said that in the tape.
Yes.
Okay.
But Dr. Phil, I also told the judge that she is a straight alcoholic and she needs help. All they've done is put an ankle monitor on her, and that's it. She cuts them off, and there they go. Another one. Cuts them off, and another one. There's no consequences to it.
There's been drama and chaos since the minute you got here, right?
Yes.
I mean, even getting here. Isaac, your son, he doesn't have a lot of confidence in your ability to change. He was supposed to be here, but he bailed this morning.
Yes, he did.
Or during the night.
Yes, he did.
So day one, you text the producer and you say Giovanna's drinking hand sanitizer, right?
Yes.
And at 4 p.m., she's drunk right before the field shoot. Then at 4:20 in the afternoon, Giovanna tries to jump out of the moving car to get alcohol. And so you stopped, hysterical. Isaac's on the side of the road.
Yes.
30 minutes later, he tries to back out again, is upset, doesn't want to be recorded for the shoot. Then he calms down. 5 o'clock, during the shoot, Giovanna said she drank an hour before the interview. According to the segment director, she's hungover, coming down, sweating profusely. So, I mean, this is just up and down, up and down. Day two, here in LA, because we bring you in ahead of time to start putting things together. At 8:30, you tell the producer that you're buying a 3-inch bottle of wine for Giovanna. At 4:30, Isaac runs out during the shoot, threatens to leave, says he didn't want you to call him out. Day 3, in the afternoon, Giovanna wants to go to the hospital because you got a pain in your stomach, right? Yeah. Then says, well, no, I'll be okay until a neurologist appointment next week. Then you find empty vodka bottles in Giovanna's hotel room.
Yes.
And where did you get that?
Mom, you know where we got that at?
I bought her a bottle of vodka, but the other bottles I did not.
I know. But there's so much more, though, that you don't say. Whatever happened?
I say, Giovanna.
What happened in the car?
What happened in the car is you wanted to go to CVS, Walgreens, wherever, any store, and you wanted, I have you on tape.
I know.
You wanted medicine. When we get in the car, you then demanded we stop.
Yes, I did demand.
We did not stop. And then you said, get me out of this car.
Were you aware that she was being molested?
Yes.
What did you do about that?
I reported the incident.
No, she didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, and I remember you telling me I'm sick and he's sick. I was lying, Mom.
My daughter blames me for her addiction. She was molested when she was a young girl.
I blame my mother for not protecting me.
This is why she gets very angry when she drinks and she attacks me.
I have not been able to move on from it. I thought I had, but I have not. A lot of people say that I use it as an excuse, but I don't want to.
You said you started drinking at 9. Why?
I had my first drink at 9.
9-year-old children don't drink.
It was a couple of our friends, and I remember we were sitting in a van. It was the first time I actually smoked weed, too. And I remember their mother had gave us a beer. So I tried it.
Yeah, gave you a beer at 9. Said, here, 9-year-old, drink this beer.
Oh, yeah. She even smoked weed with us in the van.
Where were you?
I was home. I was not aware of this.
Okay.
I know.
Were you aware that she was being molested from age 4 until age 10 or 11?
Yes, yes.
You were aware of that?
I was aware of that.
And what did you do about that?
I reported the incident 2 weeks later.
2 weeks after you knew about it?
Yes.
No, she didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not. You were getting me ready for my shower, and I remember you sat me on the bed.
Right.
And you told me that if anybody has touched you or to let you know. And I remember getting in the shower and getting out, and I remember going back to you in the room, and that's when I told you, and you flipped out. I remember you telling me I'm sick and he's sick. I was 9, Mom. I was introduced to sex as a little girl, Mom.
And you knew about this?
I did not know about sex.
That's not
sex. You knew I wasn't a virgin anymore.
That's not sex. That's rape. Pull that out of there.
Thank you.
That's not sex. That's rape.
Right.
You knew she was being raped at some point.
Yes.
And what did you do about it?
Nothing. She didn't do anything.
I honestly did not do anything. When you told me...
Okay, hold on a second. Before you go on, are you going to try and defend and justify this? Is that what you're getting ready to do?
No.
Because the bottom line is a defenseless child is raped, and you say, I didn't do anything about it for like 2 weeks, and you allowed her to still be exposed to this offender.
Yes.
Multiple.
And then it happens again.
Multiple men, Mother.
And then...
You knew.
At some point, did you instruct her to recant her testimony?
Yes, I did.
What kind of message do you think that gives to a child?
It messes them up even more because I failed to protect her.
What the hell are you thinking?
I wasn't.
Look, I'm Mr. Accountability. What you're doing now to cope with this is just making it worse. It doesn't make it heal. It doesn't make it go away. I get it. It's counterproductive. It's not the thing to do, but I get why you would, as a child, look for any escape valve, any relief. And I don't know if any other adults have said this to you, but let me say it to you. I'm really sorry that happened to you. I'm really, really sorry that happened to you.
Nobody has said it to me, actually. When you say sorry, I don't believe it.
Well, believe me.
I do.
Because I'm really sorry that happened to you. Giovanna has understandably tried to numb her pain, but clearly, the way she's going about it, it's going to work. Because the pain's going to stop, because her life is going to stop. She's going to kill herself. How do we turn this around and start heading in the right direction? You can't change what you don't acknowledge. We're going to talk about what needs to be acknowledged when we come back. This is 50% more potent than a bottle of vodka. The inactive ingredients in here, it's like drinking motor oil.
I'm concerned about my daughter's health due to her consumptions of alcohol.
The doctor says I had elevated liver numbers.
One morning, my daughter woke up in severe pain. I took her to the emergency room. She was in the hospital for 5 days. She had infections and fluid in the stomach. The doctors told her this is from alcohol.
I also had a pelvic abscess that was alcohol related.
This is an 8-ounce bottle of hand sanitizer. It's the equivalent of 5 shots of hard liquor. This is 50% more potent than a bottle of vodka that you get, because the alcohol in here is 120 proof. In vodka, it's 80 proof. But the problem is, that's the active ingredient. The inactive ingredients in here are where you have problems because they are poisonous. This has 70% ethyl alcohol, but you also have isopropyl alcohol, and there's fragrance in here, which is petroleum-based. It's like drinking motor oil. Every time you do this, you're poisoning yourself. This is a very ugly death. This is not just this alcohol poisoning, which you certainly get from drinking that much alcohol. Do you want to die?
No, I don't. I just feel like I've already done too much damage, not just to myself, but to my children. And I have told my mom I feel like I have to suffer for it.
You're punishing yourself.
Yes.
Dr. Phil, excuse me for interrupting, but she did have a job, and it lasted about 2-3 weeks. She was drinking.
Which one?
At this one by our house.
You're
I was
telling
there
me
for
this
3
why?
months.
You're telling me this why? What's your point?
Because she's not done. And the talk that you just shared with her about the hand sanitizer, that won't stop. She doesn't want to live. She's shared with me on a video that I was recording her. She did not know I was recording her, telling me to accept that she is going to die and for us to continue taking care of her children. You did, and it's really hard to listen to that. Because I feel that because I didn't protect her,
It's fine.
then I'm also being punished, and I'm trying to save her life. I'm fighting so hard to save her. And like I said, I've tried everything, and that's why I'm coming to you.
This is a situation where we really have to decide how we're going to live, because we don't get to decide when or how we're going to die, but we do get to choose when and how we're going to live. And that's what I want to talk to you about. Giovanna has been to rehab 3 times. And each time, clearly it hasn't worked. She's been kicked out, sabotaged, left, whatever. So that hasn't worked. So what will work? What needs to happen here? We'll talk about that when we come back.
I know my son's picking up drinking because of me.
I have been finding empty bottles of whiskey, rum, and vodka in Isaac's room. My fear is Isaac is going to be in the same boat as his mom.
I flat out told my son, I don't want you to be like me. You're following my footsteps. I don't want that for him.
Like mother, like son.
Tracy says Giovanna's 18-year-old son, Isaac, is following in his mother's footsteps and worries he will become an alcoholic as well. When people do things, they just don't do it in a vacuum. You don't start drinking at 9 for no reason. If you're getting passed around as a sex toy, and the people that are supposed to love you and nurture you and value you don't protect you, then that sends you a message that, well, I'm not worth anything. They're not willing to make sacrifices for me. They're not willing to stand up for me. They're not willing to fight for me. And so that writes on the slate of who you are. And so who do you talk to? There are people you trust that you can go to talk to, but oh, no, wait, no, there's not. There's nowhere to go, so you're left totally to your own devices. I really wonder how you've gotten as far as you've gotten, to tell you the truth.
It's happened to a lot of people out here in the world, and I know that there's been ones that's been abused worse, and they still smile. They still, you know, can not have the lifestyle that I've chose as I got older, you know. I just want help. I need help. I need help.
Well, you know, there are 4 stages of readiness. I've been doing this a long time.
Okay.
There's 4 stages of readiness.
Okay.
And you've been through 3 of them. I'm curious if you're in the 4th one. The first stage of readiness is when you're compelled by authority. The court says you got to do this.
Yeah, you did.
That's no readiness at all. You're just doing it because the court said. 2 is to escape criticism. You know, your mother or people say, you got to do this because you're a bad person if you don't. 3 is intellectually motivated. You know you need to. You don't really feel it, but you know it.
Yeah.
And then 4 is when mentally and emotionally you're desperate to escape the circumstances in your life. That's when you say, I'm not putting up with this for another second, of another minute, of another hour, of another day. I am through with this, and I'm going to climb out of this right now, right here. That's when people change, and not 1 minute before.
Thank you.
So where are you?
I'm there.
Okay. I got a plan. We'll be right back. This is way over your pay grade. You don't have the skill set, the training, the experience to solve what ails her at this point. So what I need for you to do is to just be supportive of whatever plans are made. Just be a mother. Now, what I need you to do is 2 things. First off, I'm willing to get you the kind of help that I think you need, but you're not ready to do that yet. First, I need you to do some things for yourself.
Okay.
You have some open wounds inside you, and it requires some very specialized care. I'm going to arrange for you to have a therapist, and particularly during the pandemic here, a teletherapist that you can talk to, and I'm talking about a PhD licensed therapist that specializes in survivors of domestic violence and molestation. And I'm going to do it through Doctor on Demand, which is a company that actually my son and I started several years ago. And I'm going to make those arrangements so you can set up appointments, and just from the privacy of your own home, you can talk about these things. And this is a preamble. This is a ramp up to you getting to the point where you say, okay, I now need to go with a clear eye and full motivation into a dual diagnosis treatment program. You can't just stop drinking cold turkey, or you're very likely to have a seizure. So you may need medical supervision for that, and we'll look into getting that arranged for you as well. This is doable, and what's more important is you're worth it.
Thank you.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Fair enough?
Fair.
Okay. Are you glad you came here today?
Yes, I'm glad. Thank you so much.
By the way, if you at home want to have your own Doctor on Demand, you can download the Doctor on Demand app. And during the pandemic, that's a great thing to do, because a lot of people aren't going to the doctor, and they're putting off a lot of things that don't need to be put off. And with telemedicine, you don't have to go sit in a waiting room with a bunch of sick people. You do it face-to-face over the computer. And the mental health side, you can have teletherapy that research has shown is just as effective as being in the office with a therapist, again, from the privacy of your own home. So download that app and take a look at it. Coming up, the events of 9/11 affected our next guest so much, he nearly paid the ultimate price. This soldier's story of survival, next. Well, today is World Gratitude Day, and we want to highlight our nation's heroes and those who lift them up. My next guests are Jason and his mother, Pam. Now, Jason is a remarkable young man who was deployed to Iraq in December of 2005, and Pam is his biggest supporter. 4 months after being deployed, a pipe bomb blew up his Humvee. Jason survived, but just barely. Pam says the family was told to prepare for the worst, but Jason had other plans. Here's their story.
When the airplanes hit the World Trade Center, my son Jason felt that he wanted to do something to help. So Jason decided to enlist after his graduation from high school.
When I had to say goodbye to my parents, that was the hardest day of my life.
In December of 2005, Jason was involved in a roadside bomb, and he sustained 2nd and 3rd degree burns to over 60% of his body. He suffered a traumatic brain injury, and they made the decision to have his left leg amputated. They transported him to Brooke Army Medical Center because of the severity of his burns. That's where the Wounded Warrior Project stepped in.
I don't know where I'd be today without the Wounded Warrior Project. They're awesome.
It's been almost 15 years since Jason's been injured, and he's been introduced to different services through them.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Rehab is extremely hard.
We enrolled him in horseback riding.
I'm really not the same person I was, but that is quite all right with me. I'm still moving forward.
Well, Jason and Pam are joining me virtually via Ionico. It's so nice to meet you both.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I'm so glad to do it. Pam, when you got that call that Jason had been injured in Iraq, what was going through your mind?
When the Army was describing what had happened, we just were numb from the shock of it all.
I can well imagine. In addition to the physical damage to his body, Jason also suffered a brain injury. Tell us about that.
His brain started to swell. He slipped into a coma for the next 3 months. He started slowly coming out of it and having to relearn eating and drinking and speaking. So it's been a long journey, but he's made tremendous progress.
Well, Jason, you've had a very steep hill to climb. So tell me, how are you doing now?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm working hard. I'm going to keep doing it.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that. Now, you have a service dog, correct?
I do. She Freedom, lap.
There's Freedom.
Hey, baby.
Hi.
So, how important has that dog been to you?
She's been incredibly important in my life.
Well, yeah, I can imagine. So, Pam, tell us about Wounded Warrior Project and how it's helped Jason and your family.
Well, within days of Jason being flown back to the States, Wounded Warrior Project introduced themselves. And since that day, they've been a pretty essential part of our lives in Jason's recovery. And most importantly, he's in their independence program. And it gives Jason the ability to do something and not be with his parents 24/7.
Yeah, you bet, because they're there sometimes 5 days a week, right?
Yes.
That's amazing. Joining us now is Lindsay Tkach, the Deputy Director of the Wounded Warrior Project's Independence Program. So, Lindsay, welcome. Tell us about this amazing program and the work that you do.
The Independence Program at Wounded Warrior Project serves those post-9/11 generation wounded warriors who returned home with catastrophic injuries. Our goal at the Independence Program is to help those warriors be as independent as possible in their own homes and in their own communities, and to avoid being placed in a nursing home or institutionalized setting.
I think it's just absolutely amazing what you guys do. Can you tell us what kind of support the Wounded Warrior Project's Independence Program offers to caregivers?
We know that being a military caregiver comes with both emotional and financial burdens. And so we develop long-term care plans that address both the warrior and the caregiver's needs. And we saw those needs become even greater during the pandemic. And so we were able to do things like provide direct financial grants into the caregiver's hands, as well as expand our programming to better support them. Because ultimately we know that by better supporting our military caregivers, it results in better care for our wounded warriors. And like all of our programs at Wounded Warrior Project, this is at no cost to our families. They never pay a penny for any of our services.
Well, that's just absolutely amazing. And Jason and Pam are perfect examples of how the Wounded Warrior Project can make a huge difference in an injured veteran's life. And Jason, I understand you did something really special for your mom. What was it?
I wrote her a Mother's Day card.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'd like to share them. The first one says, "Mom, thank you for everything you do for me." And the other one says, "I love you more than life itself. You're my angel without wings. Love, Jason." Pam, what did you think when you read Jason's cards?
I had no idea that he could actually write legibly. And so to hear him put those thoughts down just really melted my heart and made me feel like it's all been worth it.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that, and it's just a testament to the Wounded Warrior Project. It just and all of the hard work that everybody has put in. And I just want to tell people to learn more about Wounded Warrior Project and their life-changing programs for our nation's warriors and their families. I'm going to ask you, please, to visit woundedwarriorproject.org. So I thank all of y'all for being here. I want to thank all of my guests today. So Lindsay Tkach, thank you for being here, and thank you for the Wounded Warrior Project. And Jason and Pam, thank you so much for sharing your story. It just means a lot to hear from you guys.
Thank you.
All right, for more information about today's show, you can log on to drphil.com, and we'll have a link to the Wounded Warrior Project there as well. And I'm sure we'll be discussing this on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as well. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.
Bounce, bounce, all the girlies bounce. Take 'em to my house, turn the party out. Bounce, 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 all the girlies bounce. 1,000 times. Memories can kill ya, but it didn't heal ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was the last time. I've always been naive. Call it.
You know we gon' get